Hello students, welcome back again in virtual classroom. Let's facilitate learning standard 12th subject English. Today in this virtual lecture we are talking about section number 4, genre novel. Students, basically on this section you will have activity questions based on characters, theme, plot, and synopsis of the novel. So, in this lecture, in this video, today we are going to talk in detail about lesson number 4.3, Around the World in 80 Days, written by Jules Gabriel Verne. In today's video, we are going to study the information about the extract of the novel which is given in our new designed textbook. First of all, let's try to understand some information about novelist of the novel Around the World in 80 Days. Jules Gabriel Verne was a French novelist, poet and playwright. Verne wrote widely popular series of adventure novels including Journey to the Center of the Earth, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Around the World in 80 Days. Verne is generally considered a major literary author in France and most of Europe. Verne has been the second most translated author in the world. So, in this novel, in this extract, Around the World in 80 Days, we have some major characters and minor characters. Phyllis Fogg, Passport Out, Detective Fix, Auda are the major characters in this novel, and we have minor characters as well, such as Sir Francis Cromarty, then John Bosney, the Reform Club members, the Parsi Guide, Colonel Stamp Proctor, Mr. Camerfield, Mr. Manjiboy, then Elder William Hitch, Mudge, and Captain Speedy. So, 4.3, Around the World in 80 Days. Let's speak about the characters in little bit detail. Phyllis Fogg, which is the main character in this novel, is really very much important and interesting. Phyllis Fogg is a wealthy gentleman who is calm, clever, and usually gets his own way. He bets 20,000 pounds that he can go round the world in 80 days, over £1,000,000 in today's money. Can he win his huge and risky wager? That is what we are going to find it out in the upcoming information. Next character, Passport Out. Passport Out wants a quiet life. He has just become Phileas Fogg's personal servant. Has he made a big mistake? Let's find it out. Detective Fix is one of the major characters in this novel. When Detective Fix decides Phileas Fogg is a bank robber, he is determined to arrest him. Will he succeed? And is Phyllis guilty? Let's find it out also. Auda. Princess Auda is intelligent and beautiful. Can Phileas Fogg and his companions rescue her before she suffers a terrible fate? Yes, that is what we are going to search in the upcoming information. Next character, which is a minor character, the Indian guide. He is young and brave and an expert elephant driver. He guides the travelers through a dangerous and difficult path of their journey. Next character, Sir Francis Cromarty. Brigadier General Sir Francis Cromarty meets the travelers when they are in India. Can he help them save the princess? Yes. Curious to know about it? Let's try to find it out. Next, minor character Captain Speedy. The captain refuses to take Phileas Fogg and the others back to England on his steamship. How can they make him change his mind? Do they get success? Let's find it out. Around the World in 80 Days theme. Now, the theme of the novel is basically time. We are going to find it out how time plays important role in the novel Around the World in 80 Days. The novel is full of adventure and the excitement which the readers come across and enjoy from the beginning to the end. Phyllis Fogg, the major character in the novel, accepts the challenge to go around the world in 80 days. And in accomplishing this feat, he goes through various lands and meets with diverse adventures. Thus, the novel proceeds at a fast pace, and there is always some excitement resulting from the various encounters. The beauty of the novel is that the writer takes the readers to a journey of many hair raising incidents and exciting, adventures, thrilling, yet beautiful places in the world. The most important feature of this adventure novel is time. It illustrates repeatedly that time is fickle and either works for our against them. In many cases, time foils their plans. When they delays build up and ships and trains leave without them, that sometimes land the characters in trouble. In the end, Fogg wins the bet as he gained a day when crossing the international date line. The ultimate crossing the international date line plays a very important role in it. The ultimate message is that no one can control time. Time will work the way it wants to work, and humans are at its mercy. Before his journey around the world, Fogg lived a solitary life. He closed himself off to others and cared little about the way he was perceived by other people. By the end of the trip, though he recognizes the importance of human connections, is really very much important to know. Students, here is complete map with the help of which you can get idea how Phileas Fogg completed his whole journey within the span of bait. Now, both in the form of love with Auda and friendship and loyalty with Passport Out. Above all, this new understanding and appreciation is the greatest thing he has gained from this trip. Though he has the opportunity to double his fortune, Fogg's motivation to embark on such crazy adventure has little to do with the money. Instead, he wants to preserve his honor and prove his worth to the men of the Reform Club to show that he can do what he sets out to do. Fogg spends nearly all of his money along the way, showing that riches are not what he is truly out for. For Phileas Fogg, honor is more important than money. Throughout the entire trip, Fogg and his group encounter various obstacles standing in their way. These challenges allow them to use their quick thinking to come up with innovative solutions to even the most complicated of problems. relaying the message that no problem is unsolvable. It is not only Fogg who shows his clever wit in coming up with solutions. Passport Out too show his ingenuity in multiple situations. Plot of the novel Around the World in 80 Days. Around the World in 80 Days begins at the Reform Club in England with Phileas Fogg, Thomas Flanagan, Samuel Follington, and John Sullivan sitting by a fireplace reading newspapers. We are introduced to Fogg, a very precise man who regularly goes to the Reform Club every evening. At the Reform Club, Fogg, Flanagan, Flanagan, and Sullivan are talking about a recent bank robbery. This conversation leads to a wager. Fogg is quite sure he can travel around the world in 80 days, while Sullivan doesn't believe it can be done. Sullivan, then Flanagan, and Flanagan think Fogg is not considering the unexpected. All the men accept the wager for 20,000 pounds. This is the beginning of the entire plot, and from then on, we see how Fogg goes around the world and we witnesses the amazing adventures that he has with his companions. The main plot is based on Fogg's travels, while other such plots merely support the central theme. Fix, the detective, follows Fogg all over. He believes that Fogg is the bank robber who has robbed a great sum from the Bank of England. He puts obstacles in Fogg's path just so that he can arrest him whenever he gets the warrant from England. The suspicion that Fogg might be a clever gentleman robber is the sub theme of the book, and the author makes the reader also suspicious. Passport Out too wonders whether his master might be a robber, though in his heart he has ample trust in Fogg's integrity. The plot moves ahead with Fogg striving through various obstacles to reach London in time. He goes through Brindisi, Suez, Bombay, Calcutta, Hong Kong, Yokohama, San Francisco, New York, and finally Liverpool. Fix arrest Fogg at Liverpool, and this delays Fogg a bit. He thinks that he has missed the deadline and hasn't reached London in time, when in reality he reached a full day earlier. Thus, Fogg wins the wager and, in the course of his travels, finds himself a worthy, charming, beautiful wife too. Now, synopsis of the extract. Synopsis means summary. Synopsis of the extract Around the World in 80 Days. As soon as Fogg, Auda, and Passport Out arrive in Liverpool, Fix arrests Fogg. Phileas is thrown in jail. Several hours later, though Fix learns that another man was responsible for the bank robbery, and he releases Fogg, who orders a special train. However, he arrives in London late, making everyone disappointed. Phileas and company are now broke. The deadline for the bet has passed, and there is nothing to do. but go home and pout. Phileas locks himself in his room and for the first time allows himself to be seriously depressed. Auda and Passport Out are so worried that they too can't eat or sleep. The following evening, Fogg apologizes to Auda for being unable to provide for her comfort as a result of losing the bet. She is turn She in turn proposes to marriage to him, and he joyfully agrees. Passport Out is sent to engage a clergyman. He runs off to get a reverend to marry Fogg and Auda the next day, which they all think is Monday. While running to grab the nearest preacher to marry Phyllis and Auda, Passport Out finds out that it's actually Sunday, not Monday, like the group has been thinking. By traveling eastward around the world, Phileas Fogg, master calculator and obsessive organizer, has forgotten the time he is gained by journeying all those time zones. He learns that their journey through time zones had gained them a day and that they are not at all late. Passport Out races home, grabs Phileas by the collar, shoves him into a cab, and deposits him at the club. Phileas presents himself with minutes to spare and effectively wins the bet. He is rich once more. But more important, as he says to himself, he has won the heart of a charming woman. In this way, today in this virtual lecture, we studied the information about the lesson around the world in 80 days. We also have studied major or important points such as characters, theme of the novel, plot, and synopsis. In the next video, we are going to study chapter wise summary of the lesson. Till then, do take good care of yourself. Good luck and happy learning. Thank you.